Hello students, welcome to the science online class. This is our second session of the world of living. What did we learn in the previous class? We have seen that how photosynthesis occurs in the leaves of the plant and what are the factors that affect the photosynthesis and how important is oxygen to live for every living organism on the earth and how it can be released from the leaves of the plant and how leaves produces food and how do they use their food and where do they store their food. Yes, we have seen all these, and not only these, we have seen how to test the presence of starch, how chlorophyll is important to the leaf or plant, yes, and how important sunlight is and what is photosynthesis. Yes, so we have seen all this in our previous session. Then what we are going to learn in this session? We are going to learn in this session, we are going to look at some unusual plants. For example, in the previous session, I told you that plants they prepare their own food, but there are some plants which do not produce their own food. Yes, some plants they depend on others. Other plants are insects or some dead decaying matters. Okay? So generally the plants which have chlorophyll they usually prepare their own food. But what about the plants which do not have chlorophyll? Yes, they cannot prepare their own food. So in such cases, to survive, they depend on other organisms like insects, yes, and other plants this way. So what are those unusual plants and how do they survive and how do they get energy from other plants? That's what we are going to learn here. For example, if you observe cactus, generally it requires a small amount of water and the cactus plant's leaves are reduced to thorn-like spines. Why, sir? To protect itself and at the same time to reduce the process of evaporation. Do you know this? The plant's leaves they allow evaporation of water through their leaves and we call this process as transpiration. What is that? Transpiration. Okay. So through the leaves water can evaporate, we call this as transpiration. So water is very important to the cactus plant. Why, sir? Because generally it lives in the desert areas. So is water available in the desert areas? No. So water is not available sufficiently in the desert areas. So to reduce the usage, the cactus leaves are reduced itself thorn-like spines. Okay then. Where chlorophyll is present in the cactus plants? Where? In its stems. So generally these are green fleshy stems. Chlorophyll is present in the cactus plants of their stems and these stems they undergo the process of photosynthesis. Understand? Okay, cactus plant it can prepare its own food, but mold it cannot prepare its own food. Mushrooms they are also considered as a plants only, but they cannot prepare their own food. Why, sir? Due to lack of chlorophyll in there. Okay, so chlorophyll is not present in mushrooms and what is that? Molds. Okay, and generally these grow in damp areas, very wet places, okay, where dead and decaying matter is available. There these plants they usually grow because generally plants they grow where their necessary can be fulfilled. So in the same way, so these mushrooms and molds, they grow in such areas where their necessities can be fulfilled. Okay, so these are some unusual plants. And other than this, Venus flytrap, it generally depends on the insects. It generally traps insects and then after it eats. Yes, it is possible. Some plants they depend on the insects also. Okay, so these are some unusual plants. Now, energy flow living things. As we have studied that leaves, they need sunlight to produce the food. So they use this energy, they use this sun's energy and they produce food, but we also get sun's energy. How? Through the plants. Yes. So if you are depending on the plants, if you are eating fruits of the plant, vegetables of the plant, leaves of the plant, indirectly we are getting sun's energy, solar energy. Okay, so sun's energy is transmitted through the plants to every living organism that depends on the plants. Okay, so we all are depending on the plants. And remember that, do the plants depend on others? Obviously, plants also depends on others. How, sir? Especially we, plants also depend on us. How, sir? Because they require carbon dioxide. Yes, they need carbon dioxide. Yes, we release this carbon dioxide. Human beings and all the animals, they release carbon dioxide, which is very, very, very useful to produce the food. Okay, so this carbon dioxide is used in the process of the photosynthesis, and plants, they produce food and release oxygen. Okay, so this carbon dioxide is very important to the plant. So plants are also depending on us. And especially you must have seen that aquariums. Generally, we usually kept fishes with aquatic plants in aquariums. Why? Fish, it releases carbon dioxide. Plant, it releases oxygen. So they both can survive in the water. You must have seen in some movies or under the ocean, you can see some aquatic plants which releases carbon dioxide to support the life of aquatic animals. So this way we all are interdependent. We depend on every living organism on the earth. We depend on even honeybees also, because they help in the process of fertilization. They help in the process of reproduction of the plant. And do you know, if there is a case we need to shift to other planet, in such case first insects should be transported to the other planets. Why, sir? First plant, then after insects, and then after all the animals, then only human beings will be allowed to the other planet, because we are depending on them. They can expand the nature. Yes, insects only can expand the nature with the help of transporting these pollen grains to the other parts of the plants. Okay, so this is all how we are interdependent. And next, let's see here, animals and plants depend on each other. So we have seen so many important concepts. Most of the concepts of this lesson we have discussed in the previous session. Now let's see here some questions given in the lesson. The first one, leaves are in green color because they contain a substance called, as I already told you that, what is that substance? Chlorophyll. So due to the presence of the chlorophyll, leaves are in the green color. Some leaves are not in the green color. That means they do not possess this, they do not contain this chlorophyll. But some leaves, they are in the combination of green and red colors, green and yellow colors. So the green part of the leaf contains chlorophyll. Some leaves are in the red color, okay. That means chlorophyll is that below the red colored pigment, okay. So red colored pigment hides the chlorophyll, okay. So where chlorophyll is not present, there food production is not possible. Let's see the second one. The leaves take in carbon dioxide present in the air through. As I already told you that, what is that? Stomata. Stomata is considered as nose of the leaf because it allows exchange of gases. So, stomata, it allows exchange of gases. Carbon dioxide enters into the leaf, oxygen releases from the leaf. So, that is the reason stomata is also called as nose of the leaf. This is the flat part of the leaf. What is that? Leaf blade. Leaf blade is the flat part of the leaf, and lower part of the leaf, it contains stomata, which are very, very small holes. In plants, extra food is stored in the form of, so in plants, generally extra food is stored in the form of starch, okay, in the form of starch. Next, in this plant, the leaves are reduced to thorn-like spines. What is that? Just now we have discussed here, that is cactus. Which program helps to save trees? Which program? That is Van Mahotsav. What is this program, sir? As we are seeing that the population is increasing day by day, yes, and next we are cutting the trees regularly, and for the development process, okay, are due to the increase of the population. But at the same time, our responsibility is to plant trees, but it is not done in the proper way. Yes, so this Van Mahotsav, it's a program, especially we plant trees in this program. So planting of trees is the program, that is Van Mahotsav. Okay. Now let's see the filling the blanks. The dash of the plant absorb water from the soil. What is that? The roots of the plant. So the roots of the plant, it absorbs water. It also absorbs nutrients and minerals present in the water, and stem, it transport to the other part of the plant. The dash present in the leaves helps them to trap the sunlight. Which helps it? Chlorophyll. Yes, chlorophyll helps the leaf to trap the sunlight, and that sunlight is used in the process of photosynthesis. Okay, let's see third one. Dash means light and dash means putting together. What is that? Very good. Photo means light. Synthesis means putting together. Okay, so putting together, what are those? Sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, chlorophyll. So all these are putting together in the process of photosynthesis. Let's see the next one. The dash attaches the leaf to the stem. What is that? Stalk. This is also we have seen in the previous session. Stalk. Molds and mushrooms are dash plants. Which type of plants? These are non-green plants, because chlorophyll is not present in these plants, so they depend on the dead and decaying matter. Okay. Generally the plants which can produce their own food are autotrophs. The plants which cannot prepare their own food, they depend on others for food, they are heterotrophs. Remember this. Right, true or false? Living things do not need a constant supply of food material in order to live. Don't we need? We need food. We need a constant supply of food to live. Okay, so this is the false statement. The green stems make food for the plant. For example, cactus. Cactus is an example for this statement. So the green part, the green stem of the cactus, it can produce the food. So this statement is correct. True. Sunlight provides energy to the leaves for preparing food. As we already know that how sunlight is very important in the process of photosynthesis. The stalk attaches the leaf to the stem. This is also correct, as we have seen that in the previous class. Stalk, it is attached to the stem of the plant. Extra food is stored in the form of glucose in leaves. Not in the form of glucose, it is in the form of starch. So this is false statement. Okay. Next, so the next one is parts of a leaf, and that's we have seen in our previous class. So now let's recall what we have learned in this complete lesson. First we have seen what is photosynthesis, okay, and how important sunlight, carbon dioxide, water, how they involve in this process, and how leaf produces food, how it releases oxygen, how stomata helps in the gases exchange, okay, and how plants they store their food in their different parts of the plant. And then after we have seen some unusual plants which depends on others for food, like molds and mushrooms, and we have seen some plants generally which goes under the photosynthesis process of their stems, not leaves, okay. And then after we have seen how we all are interdependent, how plants depend on the other organisms, and how all are depend on the plants. And not only that, the balance in the nature is very, very important. For example, life cycle. Deer, they depend on the plants. Lion, it depends on the deer. So if there is any disturbance in this life food cycle, what happens? For example, if there are no proper number of plants, then deer dies. And if deer dies, then how about the lion? It also dies. So the balance in the nature is very, very important, okay. And after that we have seen that energy flow, living things, how sun's energy can be flown from the plants to the all organisms that depends on the plants. I hope you understand this lesson very well. I'll see you again with another interesting lesson in our next session. Till then, bye.